Hey, Larken Rose here, and I wanted to have a word with voters, both Republican voters and Democrat voters. Now, I know you Republicans are concerned about high taxes and the wealth redistribution schemes of the left, and you're not too fond of that. And I know you Democrat voters are concerned with all the warmongering going on and the drones and all the things related to that. I know you Republicans are concerned with government starting to regulate and get its tentacles and everything. I know you Democrat voters are worried about censorship and intimidating anybody who shows any dissent. I know Republican voters are concerned with socialized medicine, what Obama passed. I know that Democrats are concerned about all the police state garbage they see going on, and looks like we're headed towards fascism. And I know that the Republican voters are concerned that these days, if you mention the Constitution or criticize the government, you get labeled terrorist. And I know the Democrat voters are concerned about the eroding of civil rights and what the TSA does and things like that. And I know Republican voters are concerned about government taking away their guns and violating the Second Amendment. I know Democrat voters are often concerned with what they see the war on drugs has become an excuse to lock up millions of nonviolent people and basically bring in a police state. I know Republican voters are concerned about their tax dollars going to give money to illegal immigrants who aren't citizens here and don't pay taxes here. I know the Democrat voters are often concerned with corporations having a huge amount of influence in the government. And I know both sides have been concerned with the bailouts, the government taking your money and giving $1 gazillion to huge corporations and huge banks. And I know both sides are concerned with the undeclared wars and the NDAA and things like that. Well, to both of you, I want to offer a heartfelt ha ha, serves you right, brrr, you freaking hypocrites. Now, if that seemed a little harsh, allow me to explain. If you vote Republican or Democrat, you are voting for people to get into office, to get into power, who you know are going to implement their version of tax policy, and you know that means they're going to be demanding money from millions of people to pay for whatever your guy or your party wants to do. Whether you vote Republican or Democrat, you are voting people into power who you know are going to force me and millions of others to fund things. And there are a lot of things the government does that I find destructive and completely immoral. In fact, almost everything it does on both sides. So for you to whine about the fact that, government's forcing me to pay for things, when you advocate the exact same thing in the other direction, why do you think you deserve any sympathy? Boo-hoo, it's forcing things on you that you don't approve of. Well, join the club. That's what you vote for. You play the game. You legitimize the game. Both you Republicans and you Democrats take turns trying to vote people into power who you know are going to force your values and your priorities and your preferences on millions of other people. Force other people to fund things that you know they're against. So when government turns around and does it to you, for you to say, that's not fair, boo freaking who, you hypocrite. There's nothing noble about wanting to be free yourself. There's nothing noble about not wanting you to be stomped on and oppressed and robbed if you're not against oppression in general. And if you vote Republican or you vote Democrat, you are not against oppression in general. You just want the giant machine called government on your side, forcing other people to pay for what you want, forcing other people to make the choices you want them to make. So don't pretend to be principled unless you're ready to let everyone be free. As Frederick Douglass said, no man can put a chain about the ankle of his neighbor without eventually finding the other end fastened to his own neck. When you go and vote Republican or you go and vote Democrat, you are trying to force your values on other people. You're trying to force other people to pay for what you want. And when they turn around and do it to you and you say, boo-hoo, this isn't fair, cry me a frickin' river, you hypocrite. Now, if you want to actually be civilized, if you want to actually believe in unalienable rights and liberty, like both of you pretend you do, and you're both lying through your teeth, if you want to actually advocate freedom and justice, stop playing democracy. Stop voting for government to bash your ideas into other people's heads, to make other people fund whatever you think is a good idea. And I don't care if it's the giant war machine you want or the huge welfare state you want. Either way, it's immoral, and until you are willing to let other people be free, you have no right at all to whine when somebody else does to you exactly what you were trying to do to them. Have you ever heard that little saying, you should do unto others as you would have done unto you? That's sort of the conservative Christian version. If you're on the left, how about live and let live? How about actually understanding the words you say and abiding by the principle? Because you don't. If you vote Republican or Democrat, you do not believe in live and let live. You do not believe in do unto others as you would have done unto you. Because you want to be first in line to clamor to government, to bash your neighbor over the head and make him be who you want to be. In which case, you're a freaking hypocrite and you deserve everything the government piles on you. Now, I know I speak from experience because I used to be a statist. I used to advocate that government bash my values over other people's heads and make them fund whatever I thought was good for them. Now, eventually, I got over it. Now I believe that I should get to spend my money and you should get to spend yours. Now, that sounds pretty simple, but to actually abide by that very simple concept, live and let live, do unto others, you have to give up the lie called democracy. Democracy is a war of everybody against everybody forever. It is clamoring over who gets to wield the club of government to force others to be what you want them to be. That is not okay. And whether you vote Republican or whether you vote Democrat doesn't make any stinking difference in principle. Either way, you are condoning mass extortion and mass violence in the name of trying to force society to be what you wish it was. Well, if you actually want a free society, you have to do away with that, understand the principles of self-ownership and the non-aggression principle, and advocate real freedom. Until you can advocate freedom for everybody else, you have no right to complain when your freedom is stomped on.